Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Star Ladder Season 12 America. We are in phase number 2, which is a 4-team double elimination bracket, and we're starting off with our first best of 3 series between Team Tinker and Wheel Wreck While Whistling, and it's already up to 1-1. We're in game number 3 after what could have, as you said, LD, Wheel could have walked away from this 2-0 if they kind of trucked on through in game number 1, but because of Team Tinker's big comeback, here we are in game 3.
Well, a couple things are clear. Tinker really believe in their Wisp, and Wheel really believe in their Omni Knight. First overall pick for Wheel, and the first overall pick of the draft is the Wisp once again. I think Tinker may look back on that game and feel like they did not get the right Wisp partner. The PA Wisp can work, but it is more situational because PA does not really fully take advantage of everything Wisp offers. With Wisp, one of the big advantages is not just the move speed, the attack speed, the extra damage reduction, but it's the fact that you have essentially an infinite monopool. That's why we tend to see the Wisp more with heroes like Tiny, Bristleback. We used to see it a lot with Gyro because the hero just makes it so you never have to go back to the well. You can constantly farm stacks, and even if you lose your lanes, you can come back, but with the PA Wisp, you kind of lose that aspect of the hero, at least for the early to mid game. So that's where Tinker adjusts their draft. They get the Wisp again, but this time it's with a more stable partner. It's the Bristleback. Also a very strong laner. I think the draft opening already for Tinker looks more solid than game 1. And yeah. They did also go out ahead and ban out the Sniper. I didn't really feel like he was that big of a problem, but it somewhat limits who you can run mid. So with this, Tinker will have a little flexibility as far as their lanes.
Still leaves that promising troll out there to be grabbed yet. It was completely ignored last game. A very rare instance right there in its own right, so we got to give props to that. But
either team could go for it. Tinker can definitely fit it in. Wheel can definitely fit it in. You have no idea how Tinker's going to lane this either. It could be a Bristle solo offlane for Bulba. They could run some sort of aggressive dual lane with the Wisp, Bristle combo. They still have their options open. Same for Wheel, but Wheel have already picked both supports. You very rarely see that in Phase 1.
I felt like they saw the Wisp and they're like, we better just get the Witch Doctor while we can to respond to that. You know, the Coconut's so good between the two. You get extra sustained power, but now you risk maybe an AA pickup from Team Tinker just because there's so much health regen happening over here that maybe you just look to kind of take it back to them. You land one big Ice Blast and their sustained power goes down to nothing. It does increase your level 1 game, though the pairing of a Wisp and an AA as your support duo can be a bit fickle in its own right, but there's going to be the ban on Troll, so we don't get to see the red-faced fiend at all this game.
I think that's a good ban. We'll need their cores to do a lot here because they don't have reliable gank from Omni Knight or Witch Doctor, and although they're heavy on the heals, as you mentioned, it's not really guaranteed that they'll be able to 5-man. We don't know for sure if they'll be able to kind of group up and take fights. It depends on the rest of the draft. So far, Tinker have a lot of room to kind of round out this opening, and so far I would slightly favor the way the draft's begun for Tinker, but a lot of it's going to come down to just Wheel getting their comfort heroes, which they did, and looking to play them to the best of their ability. So what is it going to be? The Omni Knight, generally you want to pick someone who benefits a lot from Repel, so normally some sort of right clicker. For now they go Enigma. Maybe that HF version pick is necessary at this point. It looks like an offlane Enigma, or maybe an offlane Omni and a jungle Enigma. That may be the adjustment here. Maybe we'll just say we're going to play a little more greedy. You're likely to be farming a lot with your Bristleback Wisp. We want to counter it with our Enigma in the woods.
They know there's not going to be a tri-lane. There's not like a lingering support who can rummage, look through the jungle. This Enigma should have a pretty good time farming it up. You know, what makes it better now for Tinker to get something like an AA is that they're probably going to have to look to rummage through that jungle if they want to get some early level 1 wards down to prevent that early farm. AA is great at that level 1 game if they want to kind of feel a little bit extra more comfortable making that kind of move. But
Wheel do need to be careful about their safe lane, though. If it's that Bristle Wisp dual lane in the off lane, Omni Knight +1 is not going to... or Witch Doctor +1. Witch Doctor +1 is going to struggle to dominate. Like, I think ideally you pick more of a strong laning hero here. Maybe even a Viper is a possibility for Wheel. The Troll already being banned out. He'd be the other kind of go-to hero. But Razor, perhaps. They have to be careful that this Bristle Wisp doesn't get out of control, because it could very well be the aggressive dual lane, and with a jungle Enigma you have less resources to kind of deal with it and shut it down.
10 seconds remaining.
So I'm wagering that this could possibly Relic's pick here. They seem to kind of go in that order and then leave out Sleesel's pick at the end. We saw in the previous game they fell back on the Slark at the end, which is still there. But to get something that could dominate the mid lane without yet seeing who the mid lane candidate is for Team Tinker is also a bit risky. Unless you want to go down that road of getting a lane dominator, like you said. Relic, I believe, has played Viper from time to time again, so it could be something they go for and is really good against kiting someone like a Bristleback. So I'm liking the idea of that, though. Their late game potential kind of falls more onto whoever Sleesel gets at the end.
Their late game would be very poor at that point. That's definitely a fair point, and it is an issue. Razor would scale a bit better into the late game, but still, at that point, you're going late against Bristlewiz Jug, and you've got a Razor. Omni, in theory, a really big Omni ult can always change the course of a game, so can Black Hole, but practically speaking, finding those opportunities gets difficult against a mobile lineup like what Tinker have.
Tinker could also round out their support duo and just simply get a Rubik again. Rubik is really good here. I mean, you got Enigma, Black Hole, you got Omni Knight again with all those great options. Witch Doctor also offers a lot of good tools for someone like an Enigma to take advantage of. But
the other option for Tinker is to pick a more aggressive support. I feel like they may look at last game and just say, like, our lanes were really weak, like incredibly weak, and we want to make sure we win the lanes this time. Because if they win the lanes, their dire side, they have Bristleback, Jug, Wisp. They can go Roche pretty early. They can clear Ancients very easily. Their lineup farms well and uses the farm well. So maybe they look towards like the Skywrath or even a Lion who's a little more kill potential early than a Rubik. But the other option, I guess, is if they want to get like a really strong laner here to go mid and kind of walk around the map controlling the game for them, then they could squeeze in the Rubik. But if you go Rubik here, that is the main risk, is just kind of getting dominated a bit, giving the Omni Knight more than you should in the off lane. Assuming it is an offlane Omni Knight. I mean, I guess it's still possible. It could be an Enigma offlane.
I was thinking that as you were saying it, and I think it's an offlane Omni Knight. I don't see Mike playing Enigma offlane ever.
No, that's
and
true.
I don't see Mike playing Omni Knight much ever. But I think if he had to pick of the two, it'd be the Omni Knight. So that that's where he struggles.
As far as I know, Mike is not known for his micro play in general.
Yeah, so I'm very curious to see where this is going for their lane setup. I mean, if they're going to have Enigma, or their Enigma player just takes it to the off lane, and we saw Mike last game, just if he's told to go to the mid lane, he'll just go to the mid lane and rep it. So we could just see an audible altogether, because I worry that one of Wheel's lanes is going to be very lackluster. I mean, Omni Knight's already known for his lackluster lane presence. I mean, if you're a support, you kind of just hang back, try to get some XP, and you're there for the heal if necessary. But if you're going to be like the off-lane core, it might be a hard time for him.
Off-lane Omni can get really shut down. That is the concern here. They banned the Lion, but that still in the pool are other options. The Skywrath is still, I think, a really decent option here. For Tinker, they don't have the best setup for Mystic Flare, but it's a very good game for the Silence. Completely shuts down the Omni Knight. Really good zoning support. Could also look to set up kills mid on Lina, who's fairly squishy and gankable. So I think Rubik or Skywrath are probably the two likely support candidates right now for Tinker. And then I guess the question for Wheel is, what is the Sleazel hero? This will be that core Lina mid. Can be a hero that dominates, but they have very little like reliable physical damage. Slark gets banned.
Yeah, it's a good ban.
What else do you think Sleazel might play?
Okay, options for Sleazel here to rep, and what could possibly have his hands full with, like you said, the Bristle Wisp kind of get up. Oh,
yeah, that is crazy.
The tricky part. Is it crazy to? No, I was gonna say maybe Drow, but I think with someone like a Wisp on the team and now a Puck, there's just too much gap closing that they can get in the face of Drow and lock her down.
Drow could be good. It's just a very risky pick.
Oh, hey, look at that handsome man now. Valve.
He looks so derpy with his head like tilted to the side.
Hi, how you doing there?
He looks like he has a crick in his neck. You know, like if you like sleep on your neck weird and then you're in a lot of pain and you can't like just have it up straight.
And, I mean, it looks like he's just looking over at us, and he was originally kind of looking over to our right hand side. He's like, oh, hey there, you casting my game?
he's creeping. He's creeping.
Well,
he's checking someone out. Hey, how you doing, handsome?
Well, how do we feel about this?
He doesn't have eyes. I don't know how he's checking people out, but somehow he is.
I like the tattoos, though. He definitely got some nice ink done there.
A little tribal.
Oh, man. Okay. There he is. I don't like it. Silencer, man.
I mean, what a game for a Silencer, though.
I mean...
Void tries to go in, and Chrono, bam. Global, no follow-up.
It's over.
Witch Doctor's channeling his ult. That gets canceled. Enigma goes in for the Black Hole. completely countered by this. This is a really good silencer game if he's able to get the globals off at the right time. So he could single-handedly carry the team.
This is a great silencer game. When I first was starting to cast Star Ladder China, they were banning out silencer left and right off the start. First ban, first pick. And I was questioning, I think it was me and Base Skip, we were just thinking, okay, well, what have they been doing in their scrims that we don't know? That silencer all of a sudden is just all the craze, and that they have to make sure they get rid of it this much.
That is true, but there was one game, I think it was on one of the days when I was casting towards the end, where HGT played Vici Gaming, and they picked silencer. And I think they picked like third or fourth, and it single-handedly won them the game. They had a Ags refresher silencer that like literally won the game by himself for his team.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When silencer's picked up in a situation like this, it's just like a punch in the gut. You're just like, oh, what a good pick. That's the combo breaker, and it's perfect with Void, as you said. He jumps. He's the one to try to set the stage for the fight. So if you know he's coming in, you just hit that R button, and quickly everything turns into a disaster. Unless it's baited out, which the mind games could happen to come in here for Wheel if they wanted to bait out that. But he's also just so good at being a zoning support in that lane setup. If you're trying to bully back an offlaner, you put that 1 point in the glaive, that little bit of pure damage is just enough to kind of keep him in check. And
so the change-up is going to be the off-lane Void. They're actually running the Omni Knight safe lane.
The Mike Void.
Bit more survivable as the Void, because you've got the backtrack. You normally build a poor man shield very early.
Oh.
And I would say he's still very level dependent, maybe a bit less so than Omni early. Like with Omni, you want to max all your spells, aside from Degen R, which is kind of situational, but with Void, you really just need the level 6, and then you can at least go around trying to set up fights. So let's see how much KotLGuy gets out of this lane. He is going to be the man up against the Bristle Wisp.
Yeah,
they don't have any hero that lanes well again. That's the issue with picking the Void, is there's nobody who can really match up against the Bristle Wisp.
Yeah, so they'll have to make the best of it. Mike already throws on a Degen Aura and is just like, I gotta run the hell back. He's trying to save up and go right for a Soul Ring. Meanwhile, top lane, Sleesel, who's going to be playing the offlane Void, something that Mike was one of the first to do, believe it or not, in NEL, and then all of a sudden Universe was starting to play it.
Oh man, they're diving Mike. They really want this first blood. He's able to juke him, but they did force out a lot of regen here on Mike. He's down to 2 tangos. This lane just got very difficult.
It's going to be rough. Funny enough, also, Bulba had grabbed up the bounty rune at the start, so Pilot Eye was not able to get the insta bottle. But he does get it now, and it's en route. But this is courier delay for Black in the mid lane. Black mid lane puck. That's another one we don't see very often, but he's going toe-to-toe with Relic on the Lina here. So we'll have to see how his mid game matches up against one of the young, unknown, one of the better mid laners for the NA scene in Relic.
Generally, laning 1v1 against Lina is not fun. Kind of doesn't matter what hero you are. Puck may be one of the better ones with the phase shift, can potentially dodge like an incoming Dragon Slave, some of these auto attacks, but Lina outranges pretty much everyone. She is going to have a nice time of it. And well, for KotLGuy, he has almost at level 3, but he is fully out of regen Dakota. He may have to ferry some regen out, may just go for an early fountain trip if they want to TP a support down here, but then you're weakening your other lane. So we'll have one more heal to work with, but I don't see him farming the Soul Ring up if they play the lane right.
They're going to try to make the best out of the top lane, at least for now. Sleesel's now at 6 and 4. He's got Derp by his side to kind of help his own back Quake here on his Jug. And yeah, just trying to keep him away from that CS. His partner, way too on the silencer, not doing the zone back game right now. It's hard to do against the dual lane setup, but he'll work with the creep pulls instead to get him back. But at that moment, they make a go on the Quake. They bring him down pretty low. He's not forced to use the salve quite yet, but that's his last bit of regen. He does pop it right there. So now he's out of regen, and we'll have to play maybe a little bit more cautiously.
So in the meantime, they are running the jungle Enigma. This is, of course, the hero that can make up for any deficiencies in other lanes, and so far Sleesel is farming well. He's sitting 10 and 5. The Enigma topping the charts. A lot of these are jungle creeps, but has the Soul Ring picked up? Probably coming out soon. Looks like maybe Mike wants to throw something on the courier, or perhaps Relic wants his bottle, and then they're going to send the Soul Ring out. So they're still doing decently in the lanes, all things considered, and I think a lot of it just hinges on the first rotation or two from Fan of Soil. He had an excellent Lion game last time around. If he can set up a kill bottom, maybe he rotates in, kills off the Wisp, the Bristleback even early, that could completely change this game and really open things up for Wheel moving forward. But with static lanes, it looks like Tinker are going to overall have a good time of it.
Yeah. Well, your Enigma is level 4 at 3 minutes. It's a good timing start. Sleece will continue to eat his harassment from that pesky silence.
And they're diving. Mike needs to heal quickly here.
Gets the heal off, but that's not enough. And the quills and the balls are more than enough to take down your Omni Knight. First blood eventually will come out to that very difficult lane for your Omni Knight here on the bottom.
Bought his boots before going down. Yeah. It's just a bad lane for Mike. He is going to feed. That's... I don't know if I'd say it's guaranteed, but it's pretty close to guaranteed. That's a very unfavorable matchup for Omni Knight. He is getting his levels. That's the main thing you expect out of your Omni, and they'll have to make up for it elsewhere. Again, there's not a whole lot else he can do.
Do you feel like it was because they committed to that first pick Omni and maybe Team Tinker found a way to draft them into a corner of having a bad lane setup, or they just kind of put themselves into this predicament of now being stuck in a situation where they don't have a lot of good options left to set up a strong laning presence? I mean, they went for that Enigma, which is understandable after seeing the Wisp setup because you always can get a good black hole off on an incoming relocate, but I feel like they just are going to be expecting to come into this game with a very difficult start.
I'm not sure what their plan was with the Omni Knight at first, because we saw it support last game. So they could have been planning on support Omni, and then they see the Bristle Wisp and they're like, oh crap, Omni can't really do anything against that lane. Then if we run him off lane, we're going to really struggle, so let's try and change things up, put the Omni safe. Like, I think once you pick Omni early in the draft, your opponents are going to look to punish the main weakness of the hero, which is his laning stage. So no matter what, it's just one of the downsides of picking the hero. But
Smeltzer, man, just so annoying in this lane. There's just another curse. Sleece's got to get back. He's eating so much damage. He'll have to pop his salve, but he's going to have no mana for quite a while, and having no mana and being in a situation where you might need to get that time walk off could be a bit trouble, but Way2's definitely putting in the manpower here. Another curse, more glaives, forces him back from a comfortable CS zone.
Looks like they really want to set up on mid. They have the level 6 on black, but this is risky. Relic's about to get his own 6. You jump in on him, and he may just Laguna whoever comes in and get
There's
the first blood.
6. He levels it, coils there, orb forward. Enigma should be nearby, but Relic could go down in exchange. Can he get the kill? He can't. But here comes Derp with the rotation forward. They could get black. Malphus is going to be there from Goody. And he does face shift. Orb. Oh, he can't make it to the low ground, but here comes Pi.
Oh, double
He hit
feed!
himself over. Oh, no. Unfortunately, double misplay there causes a double kill and a turnaround for Wheel.
Oh, my God. What a brutal double fail.
Too fast of a
It's
shift.
one of those things, like, you understand why it happens for both heroes. Black needed to wait that quarter of a second more, but he's trying to do the math in his head, sees the extra projectiles coming in, panics a little bit, miscalculates, then Pi's like, oh crap, I don't want him to die, that was supposed to be our clean exchange. Then he goes in, and then he dies, but a series of unfortunate events that really cost them. They're going to dive Mike bottom, though. He is so freaking dead.
All right, we're going to take it out on Mike. They make the dive forward. Bulba starts dishing out the quills, and Mike has no mana to do anything about it. He's just running. Oh, gets taken down. Pilot
Bought the
gets
Rain of Regen, bought his TP. Mike is spending all his gold here, so it's still very bad to keep on giving up these kills, but there's not much he can do about it, and at least minimize the damage. Well, top lane, Slizo getting chased top lane. Oh no, gonna go down here to the jug.
Good grab in the trees. Yeah,
ran him down with phase boots. Didn't have any mana.
He has no TP. He's stuck in there.
I guess Pi just died to neutrals. Or
Pi was caught with trolls is playing a ward. He goes down, but Quickfoot could be next. Maldic's there, and he has no TP and nowhere to go. He's done.
Oh, everyone getting like caught and clowned on in the most awkward possible situations. The best part mid was when the gank happened on Relic. He completely whiffed the stun. It's not easy to get a stun off on a puck and Wisp without support. And then I thought he was almost going to get the kill. He just didn't quite have the mana for the ultimate. But if he did, he could have killed either hero. So it's just one of those games, man, where nothing's smooth, but it may work out in the end.
Coil onto Relic, and it looks like he'll meet the same fate. Tries to dish out another stun, but it's just too much.
They even have the hill ward here. He's got to just play a little more defensively.
Yeah.
As soon as he sees a TP coming in, you got to just back the hell off.
Cecil very close to level 6, actually gets it right there. So your Chronosphere now online, but his right click not quite on par yet. Only has the Band of Elfskin, no early Mask of Madness on the way, just kind of needs to continue to farm up to get to that point, but your Bulba Bristleback gets his Vanguard complete. So
they're putting a lot of pressure on the Enigma to get stuff done here, because he hasn't gone for any rotations yet. He's rushing the mech. Boyd's getting out-farmed a bit. You expect him to struggle when he's left alone, and they haven't had a support here recently. Derp's kind of been roaming around the map, but At this stage, they've got to do a lot of heavy lifting with that mech and the first black hole. I would like to see maybe a smoke gank try and catch somebody out, but
Mike,
where's the TPs? They just
he gets
do not
Guardian Angel
help
now. He might have to use it. There's the TP. They're looking to turn. KotLGuy could be the one to grab. 2 seconds for tether, but it's too late. He even commits the death ward for that one. They'll take down the Wisp. Bulba makes his way out. So finally, Mike gets the help he needs. 5-5. It will even things up from both sides.
He's like, come on, guys. where are you at?
Like, we're ready to party now, and it's just in time, but doesn't have to commit a Guardian Angel or anything. Has it ready to go now as he's level 7. And it looks like maybe they'll use this to a push here as Goody's here now. Could pop out Eidolon's Will. Bulba here to lone defend, but that's one of the best defenders you can ask for in a Bristle. He'll just pop out Quills and try to destroy what he can, preferably on those Eidolons if possible, but yeah. No rotation quite yet on the tier 2. There is a rotation from KotLGuy.
There's no mana for a black hole right now.
He does have stacks onto his stick. He could pop the stick, turn around and hold, but that's not enough. He still needs more than that. 275. He's only got 230. Mike could be in trouble. Pops the heal. Here comes Derp.
Can they slay the beast, though? I'm not so sure,
Dakota.
Big
coil on 3. Return of the Guardian Angel, though. And now Sleesel jumps in. Gets Chrono on the black. And there's the black hole that catches them both. If they get black here, that's big. But he gets the shift, a 3-man silence, but will go down. 2 for 1. A big counterfight there.
And meanwhile, Way 2 is just crying because he's 11 experience from the global.
Oh. And they get KotLGuy, who was trying to hide on the side. And
11 experience.
So close.
They could have TP'd KotLGuy in maybe. I don't know if he would have turned the fight, but this is that stage of the game where you like to get your Jug involved. He's level 8, had the Omni Slash, but now they get the global. His timing not quite working out. And now the mech's online, so big fight there. Wheel just seem to keep on finding big fights when they need them in every game this series.
Trying to make a push on that tier 1. Good damage onto it. They leave the Eidolons to get it even lower so it's easier to finish off. But Bulba makes his return, and now we got to relocate here. Is it on the bottom? It certainly is. They're making it go for Sleesel. Actually, they turn their sights onto Goody. And a Soyon hiding behind the tree here, but there's nowhere to hide. Does pop his mech. But it's just to create a little bit more space and time as they do ultimately bring him down and relocate out.
Lina is also scouted here by Dire Observer Ward. Yep. Has the illusions, but needs to be careful. Meanwhile, top lane, they're going to make their go on IX Mike. KotLGuy coming in. There's no GA. He can Omni Slash this if Mike tries to run away. And, well, instead, he'll die by a couple of right clicks. Now bottom, where Relic breaks the coil, ends up dying back in the well. Everything going wrong here now for Wheel. They have the good fight bottom and immediately get punished by Tinker elsewhere on the map.
And Tinker get to do all this. They don't have to commit their global silence quite yet, and I think they're going to be in a comfortable spot in this mid-game period, though. You do have to always consider the Chronosphere. Oh, first hit. Well, how you doing to the mid lane there? Black gets bashed in the face, and Sleesel will continue to farm him on forward. He has got his power treads complete. Bassi probably going to just grab his Aquila.
Now a Death Ward bottom onto Bulba. Has the Maledict on him, but I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
In order to kill Bulba, they really have to commit everything. We saw that earlier. The Black Hole, they threw out the Laguna. Everybody was smacking the Bristleback. He is in boss status already. Without everything, they're not killing him.
Derp is fully committed to this Maledict just to bring down that Bristleback, though. Look, 4 points into it. Only 1 into the Voodoo Restoration.
It is one of the very best spells to deal with him.
Yeah.
The other really good one is the Soul Catcher as well.
I've yet to see KotLGuy also debut his Omni Slash this game, if I'm not mistaken. He has Mask of Madness phase, 1,200 gold. Yet to find his first target, though.
He might have used it earlier when he killed the Void the first time. I'm not actually sure. But yeah, we have not seen much of it.
So we'll see if he looks to make a go. Way 2 shows up mid lane, pops off a curse, so Sleesel's Time Walk is going to be down. So I wonder if they try to make a move here. Coil up on black, and they have KotLGuy behind here, even with relocate ready. Global also online. Tinker could make a big push here. They now know that Mike is nearby. His Guardian Angel is only good if he's not silenced.
They want to go on Fan of Soyon, it looks like, or at least the pings come out. This aggressive ward has gotten a lot of work done. They know where the Enigma is. He's the big X factor when they go for these ganks. You're generally seeing the Void in the lane. Lina showing.
Bulba has to know he's on the way.
Yeah, he's not particularly worried. Like, they have the only hero who can close the gap is the Void, and
they can always relocate in and pop a global. So it's gonna be a hard game.
That's the tricky thing. Is
if
you're Wheel, you want to make moves because you have the mech now, but any move you make, if you don't actually catch the the silencer, he can global, and they can also relocate either in or out of the fight. So it's very tough to play offensively if you're Wheel. They are going to scout out Bulba. Do they want to make this go? They need to commit everything in the kitchen sink to bring him down. IX Mike is chasing like he wants to go. Fan of Soyon even smoked for this. I think it was spotted as well from that ward, and I don't know about going on Bulba here. This is very dangerous.
They just want the Maldic and the Death Ward. That's the only thing that can do it. Now, they popped the global, and no black hole was done, but they are able to burst down.
They have the black hole now, though.
But now they get Bulba in the chrono, and they have black hole. They use it, but it's a whiff. No one's going to get caught, and he's owning up to it. He goes all the way until the silence is there, and he goes down thereafter. 3-wheel dropped, and they want more blood. Here comes Koikfa chasing on forward with the power of the overcharge and the tether. There's a nice stun connection, but Relic will make his way out. Oh, very unfortunate fight there for Wheel. Bit of an overextension to try to get a hold of a Bristle, which they do ultimately bring down, but there's going to be no Guardian Angel due to the quick silence, and that black hole not connecting certainly doesn't help. So Team Tinker will be able to reap in the rewards of a Tier 1 tower and walk away the victor.
That was a big opening for Wheel. The global being somewhat wasted there didn't really accomplish too much. They had a great Chronosphere from Sleezel, but just could not find a black hole, and unfortunately for Fan of Soyon, until he gets a blink, he's not going to have an easy time initiating this game unless the Void gets a great jump. But, you know, the Lina for Relic still has no Yule Scepter. Dakota, they don't have anyone who can reliably start fights. Chronosphere is your only way, and normally Global is going to be up, so it will be tough here, but they're going to try and make the move. They'll smoke anyway. This time not spotted. That Tinker Ward did die, and they're going right into the pit.
No global. This is their chance. They move on forward. Sleezel jumps in, goes right for Koikfa, right-clicking him down, but a nice huge silence comes out. Guardian Angel on the return, and they're going to look to take down Pylite Eye. Tries to tether out. Real bit popped. Roche is down to half-life here, but Wheel...
No bashes on Koikfa. Sleezel must have hit him like 6-7 times. Didn't get a single
bash. They annihilate Mike quickly and could get Relic next. This is set up with a nice coil. Relic's still in trouble on your left-hand side. Gets popped right there from the last right click from Black. Double kill from him. Koikfa very low. Sleezel trying to run him down, but there's the goo. Oh, eventually they do get him with the Maldic. Comes derp derp. Sleezel TP back.
No backtracks.
Yep, he gets popped right there from Black.
It's a level 2 backtrack, so pretty low percentage. Did get not the best luck for Sleezel though. No big backtracks, no bashes on the jug. Finally killed him in the end, but that will probably be the Roche. They now have the global back online, the jug's respawning soon, they're in position to take it, and without a hole, it's very tough for Wheel to walk into the pit.
Here by DD as well. Black takes that before the Eidolons can get there and deny it. Eidolons go! Deny the Aegis! Oh, not going to make it in time, so they will be farm food. But there's your Aegis now in the pocket of Bulba. Tinker defend their Aegis to get what they want. Bulba now moves on to a double stack here. Their farm continues to grow so much more. Unlike the last 2 games where Wheel typically been more comfortable in the early game, having a nice big advantage, this time it looks like Tinker feeling pretty strong, pushing past the 5k net worth lead. XP about the same. Koikfa now has a Yasha on hand and 1,300 gold. His jug, king of the net worth right now. Him and Bulba, 7,700.
Yeah, if you're Tinker right now, the game's in your control. You have global online, you have the Aegis. Your lineup farms well with the Mask of Madness, now Yasha Jug, and as you mentioned, the Bristleback getting fat. So all these heroes farm pretty well. It's very different from the last game where they were running the PA core. They didn't really have much map control. This time they've got good wards, they have the Aegis, so they can pretty much do whatever they want. They can go for a smoke gank with the puck, try and set up a relocate global. They could just farm. As long as they keep the wards up, there's no one who's particularly vulnerable to getting ganked. In order to kill the jug, you're going to have to commit something big, probably the black hole, at least the chrono to try and bring him down. And then you can global, you can relocate to interrupt that. The Bristle's obviously very tanky, and Black is very elusive now. He's picked up a Yule Scepter, has the blink, so everything looking good here for Tinker. It's pressure going to be on mid lane. Oh, Sleezel. Time walk in, but doesn't want to go. Yeah, they're the team that is kind of Wheel's the team that's on the back foot, forced to make plays, but doesn't really have the best strategic matchup as far as lineups go to make those plays happen.
Looks like Goody's going to be going for a Necro book here. I mean, your Enigma already going to have a bit of a difficult time getting that optimal black hole off because of the silencer. So maybe you figure a BKB, but even then, it's like he's just going to wait for you to use it. So it's going down a different road getting this Necro book, but he might also be dead here. Repel will help rid of that slow, and it looks like they will walk away. Just fine.
Meanwhile, though, Jug gonna find your lead. It doesn't have the Yules.
Boom. Insta easy kill. Hit and run job right there from KotLGuy on to Relic. He walks away.
Still no Yules for Lina at 18 minutes. This is not the best game for Relic. 1 in 5. Really struggled a lot, and it goes back to the early rotations from KotLGuy. Kept on pressuring the lane. They got the kills early. Sure, they gave up that double kill, but Lina wasn't a part of that, so she's been the real loser as far as those trades go. Derp got the double kill early, but all he has to show for it is an earn. Not particularly scary for a Witch Doctor at this stage, and it does feel like not having that Yules is hurting them a lot.
But they were going to make the dive there on the Sleesel, but he just hides himself into a corner and will jump away. Pressure, though, on this bottom lane here. Haven't really looked too much into way 2, the silent one here for Team Tinker. He's going what looks like right for a refresher. I mean, he's already built the first Oblivion Staff, unless he's trying to get like an Orchid or something. Having that double global silence is pretty game-breaking in itself, so I wager it's just going to be straight to the refresher for him.
Yeah, that's a pretty big refresher rush. You get it early on him, and you're going to be in trouble. Chrono mid.
A hidden Chrono. Black doesn't see that one. Now there is a global and a nice relocate out. KotLGuy is going to save his puck comrade, but puts him right behind, and now they look to re-engage here. KotLGuy spinning on forward. Looks like Relic could go down again. Getting healed up from Derp. And he's able to walk through the creeps to get away. Death Ward goes down. KotLGuy might have gone too far and will turn back Laguna. Slams him in the face. And it looks like Relic gets redemption from earlier. 12 to 16 though, still advantage for Team Tinker, but that is a gold boost that Wheel certainly needed.
He was praying for the crit. Did not get it though, and maybe expecting KotLGuy to come in sooner. He'd already tethered a buddy though, and wasn't able to join until the tether finally cooled down. Pretty big dive there, and again, sometimes it feels like with this Tinker team, they are still trying to find their sea legs. Not always on the same page as far as when to go, when to back off. We've seen heroes running in on their own repeatedly throughout the series, and Wheel able to punish it. They need more of that. These aggressive wards, though, are going to be very helpful for Team Tinker. Dropping 2 down, KotLGuy going for the courier snipe. Can this Wisp get the job done?
The courier's actually stopped. The piggy holding the little elf. Whoop, see you later.
Alright, that ain't going to happen. Meanwhile, top.
Oh, they engage from back and behind here on way 2. No global for him, but a nice coil. Repel, trying to walk on through it, will be able to. Guardian goes down as KotLGuy chases off to Mike. They are able to get a hold of way 2 and take him down. We'll see if Mike's going to be as lucky here. KotLGuy on the chase, gets Yules up from Relic. He's got it now, lands the stun. Mike makes it away.
Sleesel is not having much luck with these bashes, man, I gotta say.
RNG just doesn't seem to be in the favor for either team this game.
They need to pick him a non-RNG hero for their next match. I feel like it's been unfortunate for him, but in the end, they still get the kill. They're able to walk away, and that's how we'll want to be fighting. When Global's on cooldown, that's when you look to go for your pickoffs. Otherwise, it will be tough. They have a Chrono online now. Maybe try to set up on somebody. Definitely not Boba. He's Sandra Yasha Crimson Guard.
Yeah, this Bristle...
That is an absolute woolly mammoth to bring down.
You can't sleep on this Bristleback. He's going to be in these fights, and when you think you're getting the upper hand, those quills just continue to stack up, and now his right click gets that much more devastating, and next thing you know, you'll be absolutely taken apart, and a Guardian Angel won't be enough to save you, or a Black Hole, so we'll see if it's going to be enough to break through the beast. Team Tinker still in somewhat a comfortable spot, though. Flirting around that 10k net worth advantage, XP about half of that, as they look to walk away here. That Necro book slowly being leveled up here from Goody on his Enigma.
It's still a really good position for Tinker. Sure, a couple of pickoffs here and there for Wheel, the Jug kill mid, the Silencer kill top, but they're getting out farmed very heavily. They have great aggressive wards up on the side of Tinker. Now they get their mech. They're in good position to take the next rush, so as long as Tinker just stem the bleeding, don't start hemorrhaging kills, it's still their game.
Yeah.
The one thing they'll have to worry about is perhaps that window where Enigma gets the big item that allows them to team fight. I imagine BKB will be in the cards for Phantom Soyon at some point. For now, though, as you pointed out earlier, going Necro 3, it's going to be a while, and by the time he has maybe a BKB or a Refresher, Silencer may have the Refresher in his own right. As you mentioned, he does appear to be rushing it.
He's got the Oblivion
Staff. He's not terribly far off.
Yeah.
This could be like a 27, 28-minute refresher.
It's not that hard to get the farm you need here on your Silencer. It's easy to get the last hits together with your W and your Glaive. Certainly helps, so Here's pressure on mid. Wheel trying to get another tier 1 tower. Looks like they will in the mid lane, removing that access point, but at the same moment, Tinker continue to pressure this top.
Smoke gang coming in towards mid. Bulba in the front.
Oh.
Lina stunning the ground.
Maybe just bringing in the attack boost. Oh, there's a chrono. Catches Bulba on the cusp. And now the global will come out, but Bulba could go down. And will. Pops out the Crimson, but man, the bashes are now with him. The coil catches on both. Coming in from behind, Pylite Eye and Quakefoot trying to go into Relic, who does do what the self-fuels. Moves up in the north to get away. Now they see Pylite Eye, and they blow him up. Laguna doing the majority of the damage there. And it ends up being 2 kills for Wheel. They lose no one. And it also costs Team Tinker their global. Mind you, that Wheel still have access to both their Black Hole and Guardian Angel. They can continue to fight if they want.
Yeah, the Wisp just wasn't there. They run in with the Bristle. Oftentimes, that's where you'll see the Wisp sitting behind the Bristle, either for the defensive relocate out or just to make them tankier. But the one other option for Tinker would have been to try and relocate to get there sooner, but I don't know if it would have made a difference. It was just a nice catch by Wheel. And they were hitting the Bristle from the front with the Void the entire time, so he took a lot of extra damage, not able to turn his back, and that's a big kill. That's the type of fight that they cannot afford. That is what, like a 3-4K gold swain, and
yeah.
All of a sudden Wheel coming right back into this game.
All of a sudden Enigma has a level 3 book.
Yeah, that was just a level 1.
It was just a level 1. Now he's got a level 3 of the good book here, and we'll have to see what he's going to be doing with it on this Enigma.
Is it Wheel's turn for a comeback? It was Tinker who kind of surprised them and ambushed them in game 1, but this may be the game where it swings right back the other way.
Remember, it is a best of 3. This is game 3, but the losing team will not be out. It's a double elimination 4-team bracket, so they will have a chance to fight for their lives against the loser of our next series, which will be Void Boys taking on Complexity. That comes up next, but we got a score to settle here between Wheel and Tinker, and oof, top lane Quakefa trying to get a hold of Sleesel there. Does the time walk out, but he's fast. He's got the tether, he's got the Mask of Madness, but still can't quite catch up to the Faceless one.
No Omni, so that's a pretty tough kill. But
yeah,
no, that's intimidation tactics. Get out of here! This is my lane.
Maybe a quick one-hit bash and crit series will
you take
out.
the dog for a walk. It wants to like pee on every little bit of grass from like the house all the way around the development back the other way. He's just trying to. Right now, Quakefoot just kind of marking his territory. This is my lane. You ain't welcome.
Yeah. Pylite Eye's been by his side, but that was also the reason why he wasn't there by the Bristle side in the previous fight, so something that Wheel could also look to take advantage of, but then again, of course, you just
Bulba was in pretty deep. If his team's if they were like 600 units closer, I think that's a much different fight, so yeah. It is a slightly risky to have the Bristle off on his own, but he has to be in very much on his own for him to get caught and punished. Oh, Ag's now coming for IX Mike. The global Omni ult gonna be out soon.
Yeah. Regardless of where he is, he'll be there at a moment's notice with an angel by your side, but gotta break through that silence first to get it. So it's a matter of, for Wheel, do they look to bait out the silence, just anticipate it, maybe go in strong with the chrono and then just wait it out and hope that they can have a good follow through and withstand the pressure after that chrono and survive with a Guardian Angel. We'll have to see, but they move on to Black and they catch him with a chrono and a death ward. Puck goes down. 65 seconds. Does have buyback, but
it's a mega kill streak.
It's a big bounty in the pocket of your Witch Doctor here. And if he wants to get an Ags, he's got 2,500 gold towards one.
Now they did commit the death ward and the chrono, so they probably don't want to force anything too much.
But Guardian Angel Black Hole's still there.
Yeah, that's true. They got a lot of big ults.
When you got a lot of big ults, that means you might always have an ult to fight. And it might have to be used top. Thanasoyan pops out the mech. Does go with the Black Hole on 2, but is promptly silenced thereafter from that pesky way 2 silencer. And so he goes down. No,
maybe they get a tower mid as the trade. Sleesel trying to siege this, has Derp at his side. And now the TPs will come out.
Now they go on top. They return to mid.
They might be able to kill Quakefa here. Relic has the eggs. Or not the eggs,
gets the Yules. Yep, Yules. He's repelled. LSA, Pylite Eye, lassos up.
No mana for the ult.
But no mana for relocate.
That's okay. Gets the kill anyway.
Oh, hey, how's it going there? Sleesel shows up. Boom, there's a bash. Boom, there's a Derp Maledict. And there's a kill. A mega kill streak for Derp.
Then he got the mana and tried to relocate, but...
Oh, he actually used it.
Yeah, got canceled instantly by the cask, or maybe it was a bash. And Tinker kind of panicking here in some of these fights.
Not all together. This is not the fights you want to be getting caught up in here.
Wheel are playing well, though. They're fighting around the cooldowns. Sure, the black hole gets global canceled there, but still, they're going to take objectives now. They're pushing in the top lane. As long as they can avoid getting picked off, though, they'll set up mid on the puck as the face shot.
Yep. Two mid laners just kind of dance while there's two on the top lane pressuring this tier 2. There was pressure on the bomb tier 2, but it looks like Goody was kind of able to stand his ground and force Way2 and Bulba back towards their woods. Bulba will scout out that the Rosh is up, and Tinker quickly rotate towards that side. They'll need KotLGuy here to help out. He's up in 6 seconds time and has a tier 2 to TP onto, which KotLGuy does the same. Shows up, helps out Bulba here. So this will certainly help Team Tinker, as it looks like Wheel don't really have the idea that this is happening right now. We'll look at the vision. They don't have any over by that pit. They do have the... Actually, they do have the high ground ward here, so they probably saw KotLGuy tether into the pit, so they got to know this is happening, unless they weren't paying attention at all.
It's kind of risky, I guess. You don't have the black hole. Sure, there's no global, but walking in on the bristle when the Wisp is at his side that is a different matter. Here comes Black, though. Finds Ike's Mike.
Oh,
has the ulti, has the repel.
Can he repel off? No, he can't. This is immediate silence there from Black. He'll try to run. Way2 does have global here. He gets the GA off, though, in time. Oh, big cast. Catches on both with a Death Ward down and a Maledict. Bulba's in trouble. He has to get saved and rescued back and away. He doesn't go back to base, though, I don't think. So he's going to be just there to die. Now it's going to be the 2 to drop, though, on the side of Wheel, and they get the 3rd. On the return here, on the back of the silence, Relic could go down as well. Spinning and coming in is going to be quite fun. Well, that just cost the Aegis.
It's a team wipe.
Yes,
Phantom Soyoung going to be next. They lose their Aegis, but well worth it for Team Tinker. Excellent global from Way2 there. Followed up by a very nice coil. Black caught 3. And the key thing that fight was that KotLGuy, he didn't use Omni until after the GA was used. So he comes in late, he gets the full Omni slash off from 3 heroes, and all of a sudden, Dakota, they have a refresher on the silencer.
Yeah.
And this is very difficult now for Wheel. Even should they get some BKBs, there's a solution for that, and the other thing is you don't even have to use the double global in one fight. You can just use one global, get a kill somewhere, refresh in the fountain, use a second global. The next time you see a relocate gank or an easy pickoff, it doesn't have to be used for like this big
double global
team fight
back
combination.
To back, yeah.
There's a lot of tools for this.
You have a silence more often. You use that silence to make a good counter fight play, and then you have it for the initial defense that could be coming thereafter. So yeah.
We saw this build out of the HGT support player. I forget. I think it was KotLGuy playing the silencer, and you know, at first, like your initial reaction is like, huh, that's weird. He's not gonna have mana for the full combo, especially like Tranquil Boots, Magic Stick. You don't have enough. It's 750 plus another 375, so you're a little bit short. But the whole beauty of it is you don't have to use both in one fight. I think that's the cool innovation with this build, and I feel like we're gonna see. We'll probably still see the Midas pickup, but I think the refresher over the Ags is going to be increasingly common for support silencers moving forward. Bottom lane, though, they find Slizel. They have a Hex Gnome Black. This looks to be a dead void.
There's something I was going to bring up. Black able to pick up that sheep stick, and there is not a BKB to be found on the side of Wheel. So
it's such a bad BKB game. If you're up against the double global, you know, it is tough, though. Now you're very vulnerable to this puck.
Just makes it all the easier for your puck to get those kind of initiations as they show there. Now, they do take a tier 2, but will they make it out with their lives? They're thinking about making a chase here.
Black with the backstab. He's trying to find a good initiation
global comes out. Goody looks to find it from behind while they still chase on forward onto Mike here. Bulba and Black, hand in hand, slowly bring down the Omni Knight. Does get a heal off and a repel, but it's just delaying the inevitable. He gets dropped. And now they look for more. Yep. Black moves up to the high ground, gets a Yules off, follows up with a silence, immediately tries to go for the TP, but the coil is there. Now he throws on the Yules on the Black. Stun not there as he's able to just kind of sidestep it. And yep, your Lina goes down. 3 go down all day, back-to-back big fights there for Tinker, and now they press into the high ground here on the bottom lane. This is looking very grim for Wheel, for a strong defense.
They have all their ultis, but there is a global. And that silencer's not even near the fight, so what do you do? The one hero that can actually do something is the Void. If he goes in with the Chrono, sure, you global, but he may be able to just get a kill anyway.
He needs to get someone. He moves on to KotLGuy here. Death Ward goes down. Way2 not dishing out the second silence yet. Actually holds it.
Nice relocate by KotLGuy again with the saves. But he's going back. He's up on the cliff. Kind of awkward. I don't think they knew exactly where he was.
Yeah, but he just TP's out of there. Oh.
They were kind of scouting around in this area. They're like, where did that wisp come from? Because he only was tethered for like half a second, and by the time they know, it's too late.
Well, he'll be A-OK. 25-18, big boost there for Tinker, and you can see it in the net worth, the biggest one of the game, 15K to their advantage, about the same for XP, because they're about just one win away from moving on and playing the winner of the next series. Then you're just one step out from making it to the land, so they would love to get to that point, but to finish off Wheel, it's proven to be a lot tougher than they anticipated, and a lot tougher than everyone anticipated. This was an 80-20 odds favorite for Tinker coming into this, but it has not felt like that in the series.
Yeah, this was not an 80-20 series. Again, looking back at game one, that was absolutely a game that Wheel could have won. And should they go on to lose this, I think they'll probably be a little bummed out that they weren't able to close it out. What was it, a 15,000 gold lead with a troll?
Yeah.
They were sieging high ground. Tinker had a great high ground defense, but if Wheel were able to just siege a little bit more patiently, avoid getting picked off, they could have closed this out 2-0. Now, though, their fate hangs in the balance.
Black and Viz scouts out Goody. Doesn't know who could be nearby. Relic is around, but it's not their time yet. Maybe they wait out and secure the second silence for Way 2 and his level 16 before they go for the committed push. Maybe they wait for the next Roche to pop up. Tinker looking to play this one a bit more patient.
Setting up with
they
the
see
puck.
Derp. Derp was just trying to go out there and place a ward, but he gets scouted. And a relocate coming in. Global's there. Mike's not going to be able to save him. Derp will go down. And now possibly Sleesel could be the catch-up, and will be. Omni Slash is there. Koikva with a double kill on his jug.
Meanwhile, mid, Fan of Soyon trying to get something for his team as the trade, but the puck's TPing in. Run, Silencer. Can't end up oh, Kenny, one more auto attack, close.
Oh my God.
Got him.
Got it. Yeah.
And meanwhile, Lena just blasted away the puck who was TP'd in. I think just shot him immediately with Laguna, yeah. Did not even use the Yules. Nice trade there for Relic.
Not enough at this point in the game, though. I mean, they get the trade that...
They're killing heroes that already have their items.
Yeah. Okay. Immediate Black Hole and Koikva. There's obviously no global with Way 2 being dead, but no follow-up damage. And yeah, he just gets killed.
Massacred.
Yeah, that questionable Black Hole setup.
They're pressing a little bit, but they know their situation is pretty bleak. When the globals are online, there's basically no way to get a Black Hole. There's no way to get off a good Death Ward, unless you catch the Silencer. And
yeah.
Way 2 should never really get caught. He can just sit. He could sit in the fountain if he needs to. So they are pressing, but man, they don't have many other options. I do feel for Wheel. This is that point in the game where like, man, we knew if we let Silencer get a refresher, this was going to be a hard game, and he had a very fast one.
I just don't see Silencer picked up, especially in the western scene of Dota very often, so maybe not something they considered banning, but lesson learned possibly now if that seems to be the Achilles heel.
I have a pretty strong feeling Tinker saw that Vici Gaming HGT match, and they were probably taking some notes. This is it seems like the new way to play Silencer, and very effective. Yeah. He does
not
have his
Slasher's way? You telling me not Slasher's way? The Shadowblade
Silencer?
Yeah? No? Okay.
It's fun.
Fun in pubs, works in pub play, don't get
I'm
me
not
wrong.
saying it won't work in pro play. There's definitely been surprising builds that pay off in pro play, but until someone's doing it consistently, it's not something I would hang my hat on.
Oh.
I want to believe, though. It's any excuse to build a Shadowblade is fun.
This is the minimal time for Roche as we're about to see the secondary clock here. You can already see Team Tinker just kind of continuing to scout it out. We'll find out exactly how long it will be. It's actually a very, very small one. That's bad luck there for Wheel, as Team Tinker will have access to Roche very quickly the next time they check it out. But now with 2 silences ready to go, Way 2 looking to make things that much better for his global, as he's probably building towards the Agnums. He's already got the point booster. He's already got a staff. He's only 800 gold away from having a double Ags ultimate. That's very, very, very hard here for Wheel.
It's a lot of damage, too.
Yeah.
The mana burn's nice, but you're looking at like 600 damage before reduction if you get off the full double global.
Yeah.
He's going to stop off for treads. Wants to make sure he's got plenty of stats to work with and enough mana. But now he's in good shape. He has the mana for the double global.
I said there was going to be a Roche up, but it's already dead. Quick kill right there. This is a cheese Roche, and it gets grabbed up there. Pylai Die not only grabs the cheese, he also takes the Demon Edge. It looks like away from Koikva that he'd been holding on the side. to kind of build up into what looks like potentially maybe an MKB. But we'll see as KotLGuy scouts him on out. Wheel, they got to try to find their way onto the comeback trail. But in a game like this, it's a very steep hill for that trail to be on.
I do like how Pi is Quakefa's sword bearer right now.
Yeah.
Here, I'll hold your demon edge for you, buddy. Pass it off after the Aegis. Not quite a cheese pass, but it'll do.
Cheese on Wisp, though, is awesome. Just kind of
really
do the early overcharge. You can bring yourself down to about half life, and then it's just an instant boost for yourself and whoever you're tethered to. Bring him from pretty much near death.
As though it weren't hard enough for Wheel to get kills already. Now you're talking about cheese passes.
Cheese passes, Aegis, second lives here, 2 silences. This is going to be one hell of a game for Wheel to try to fight their way out from, and Team Tinker got to feel super comfortable about looking to close out this series. Move on to their next target. Get one step closer to that Star Ladder land.
There's no hurry. There's a lot to farm here. A lot of items they can still pick up. The refresher on the silencer we talked about. Wisp just getting some sort of survivability item would be nice here. Maybe even build towards like a Heaven's Halberd to deal with the Void, who is still not opting to go BKB. Want Manta to deal with the globals, but again, there's double global, so it's not really a full solution. And well, aside from that, Bristleback could get his Abyssal. I think soon Tinker will look to go, but they may wait until the Aegis has about 2 minutes, 1 minute left, and then perhaps comes the death push.
So you got your heart on Bulba, so he's even more beastly than he was before. 3.4k life, plus 20 armor. This is the monster that you pretty much need to kind of put on the side.
Not to mention there could be the healing ward, the tether cheese that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Overcharge.
Got blink now on KotLGuy as well. The blink tether doesn't work anymore, but you know, being able to get yourself in there quickly for a relocate so you can put yourself outside of the battle, certainly worth it.
Their supports can sit so pretty much anywhere they want at this point.
Wei2 pretty much already does his part from anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like, last word is great, you know, if you can get the disarm off on some of these right-clicking heroes. Curse.
It's so minimal compared to the double global.
But it's all about that global, that big, succulent global. And 2 of them.
It's juicy.
Yeah, they feel pretty good about it. So now they go in. This is the last outer tower here for Wheel. As it gets chopped up to bits there from Quakefa.
And Wheel just trying desperately to stall. They push in the top lane. They did use the Necrobook here top, but it doesn't seem like Tinker care too much. They're going in anyway.
Here they go. Bulba. There's the Yules. Oh, okay. Well, KotLGuy is dead. No buyback. No cheese anymore. No Demon Edge. That's all gone now.
They might be able to do it anyway, though. They have 2 globals. They still have their Aegis on the jug.
And if Quakefa's still dancing with them in mid, so they're split amongst 2. Now they converge on the bottom. They get the Chrono onto Bulba. There's your first global. And that was no Death Ward, no Black Hole. They just go right for the second one.
Jug finds Omni Knight on the back lines, brings down 1. Now the Abyssal Blade on the Phantom Soil. There's your second kill.
He tried to buy back Guardian, but it was too late. Cannot save Enigma. Enigma goes down. He's forced to buy back now.
That cast, though, doing some good work. We'll bring down Quakefa once. Can they do it a second time? Bulba still alive through it all.
Black Hole for it, and they will. Very preemptive Black Hole, just secure it. Black trying to move behind, gets the silence off. And now they finish off.
Rude forcing
quickly,
it, or at least trying to.
Omni goes down.
Eggs, but Eggs ulti, but no mana for it.
KotLGuy's back. He's got that cheese still. Could heal anyone up. Doesn't choose to use it onto Bulba quite yet. Now he could go down again. Uh-oh. He has to pop the cheese there. Will. Can he tether out? He relocates. Back to base where he came from. Bulba very low and weak. Gets Lagooned. Still fine and alive. The Urn's there, though, and he does get dropped eventually. Sleesel trying to get any last bit he can. Sees Wei2 and right-clicks it down. Relic.
That was a triple buyback on the side of Wheel in exchange for 1 on the Wisp. But I think gold-wise, they probably still come out even if not on top there, despite the triple buyback. I guess we'll get our recap in a second. Yeah? It's not showing all of the buybacks.
Yeah, it was a buyback on Omni, a buyback on the Enigma. It looked like Mike wanted to buy back and quickly Guardian because he has the Ags, but it was just too late. If he
that would have been such an epic play if Mike pulled that off.
He waited, he just hesitated a little bit before buying back. If he just immediately bought back after Death and Guardian, yeah, it would have been a different story. Enigma would have been there fine. He would have had a Black Hole, which the silences were already used.
Again, Tinker don't seem like they're fully on the same page. When Bulba got caught out by the Chrono, they were not really looking to take that fight. The team was kind of spam pinging him. Nobody was in position. So they used both globals to try and keep him alive long enough for Jug to get in position, for the Puck to get ready, and because they use both globals, as a result, they didn't have anything to cancel Black Hole. It's a rare moment where fans been able to get one off.
I was kind of surprised that Way2 used both those globals like that, just back to back. I mean, nothing had been used quite yet. He could have maybe preserved one of them a little bit longer to see if he could maybe cancel out a Death Ward or a Black Hole that was there soon to follow, but...
That's definitely not their ideal team fight.
Look at this, though. I like the smoke play coming out from Wheel, aggressively moving through the jungle. They could end up crossing paths here. PyLi the closest one. Oh, your poor ball. And KotLGuy. He quickly blinks away, but the Hex is on KotLGuy, and they move on to him. Laguna, they blow him up 100 seconds.
To relocate out now, he's going to die as well.
Oh, man. They scout out where he's going to go. Is he taking anyone back with him? Nope. PyLi. Last wishes here. He does have Blink. Can he blink out? Hi. Nope. Bye. He goes down. Ouch. Dominating for Relic.
So the last fight, it looked like the graph at least saying it's an even fight. That's a clean 2 for nothing.
Yep.
They killed the Jug. That's a big takedown. And
not as big of a rubber band as I was expecting. I mean, this was a 20K, now 25K net worth lead for Team Tinker, and they only get a 1K gold swing. Bit surprising, but they maybe want to see if they can get the buyback out from KotLGuy here. Black's nearby, maybe looking to come in from behind here. Does have plenty of money. Now it's Team Tinker who will go on the defense, who do have some buybacks available.
There's no Wisp buyback, and that's obviously something Wheel will know, but the Jug does have it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a double global ready to rock and roll.
Oof.
No, there's a Black Hole as well. Also the Omni Knight ult online. I don't think Wheel really want to try and force it. They just want to get some chip damage in, and when this Jug is close to respawning, back off. Let's see though. Maybe they do try and force it.
Black is waiting for like maybe a Black Hole that he can cancel, and they don't have to use the global for it.
They have a lot of attack speed here. These buildings will drop quickly. Tinker may lose a range Rex if they don't go soon. There's your buyback.
Okay, buyback, and they try to pull out, but Black catches out. Goody here.
Just cut and run. Cut and run.
Yeah, just go. There's going to be one global. Just run while you can. They're not going to...
Goodbye, Noble Enigma.
They use the refresher and the second global.
Huh.
I think that's a questionable second global right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe they figured that Wheel were going to try to stay and fight and turn it around, but
it was kind of it was like a defensive second global, as weird as that sounds, but still, I don't know if Wheel can really do anything while it's on cooldown. The first global going to be up in about 100 seconds.
So 100 seconds, they got 70 seconds before Enigma can even be back. So by math standards, they have 30 seconds to try to make a big fight happen.
Bam! And then they got to get to a fighting location. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're fine. They may have just taken into account that Enigma has already used a buyback, so that technically it's a dieback for him. He can't buy back again for 2 minutes. He's going to be dead for a long time, so why the hell not? But ends up working out in the end for Tinker. They do hold the high ground. It did turn out to be a bigger gold swing, though. When you look at the full extent of the graph, it's like a 6K gold swing, about 10K experience almost, 8K experience. Just that those 2 kills in the jungle seemed like where they really got most of it done.
Another relatively low Roche timer in favor for Team Tinker on this, as it's only going to be about 20 seconds before it's back up. They might just hound this pit area. Maybe put some wards down. Do they have any on hand? Not on these 3. PyLi, who is by the pit, kind of waits, and he'll see it here in just a moment. Wheel now. Do they contest? Do they make a move to try to stop Team Tinker from getting the upper hand once more and moving back into the base? Now that Enigma's back and alive, we have 28 seconds while Global is down, and they are indeed going right to mid lane.
So risky. They have 3 buybacks on cooldown. They don't even have gold for 2 of them, even if they were available. Actually, all 3 they're short. They're about to get gold for 2. I don't know if they really want to push it.
Roche is up.
By the way, I do want to point out, Relic going for that hard carry Lina. Gets the Crystallis now.
Okay.
And frankly, considering that you're going to be silenced for half the fight, I like this.
Yeah.
I think right click is the way to go.
Just get off your initial spells, and by then you'll have all the attack speed you could ask for to dish out the damage.
Oh, they have the ward on the high ground. Black going to quickly deward it.
Yeah, they were pulled away from Roche because of this push. Sleesel moves in, gets off the quick finish on one of the racks, leaves the melee up for now, and Wheel step back here. By now, both globals should be up, but they get a coil onto 3. Bulba moves in. Guardian's going to be popped. And now Sleesel moves forward. Now's the silence. Okay, so look at this. Team Tinker now look to move on forward. Orb flies out, and they're looking to focus fire Sleesel, who does end up getting the chrono out there. It's only on the Bulba. Derp gets focus fired from Koikfa and right-click down, and they are on the retreat. Koikfa.
They found the void trying to TP out. They caught him, and with the relocate, they'll bring him down as well. Oh, that chrono. Just not good enough, and that was a moment for Wheel where it seemed they hesitated. They used the GA, and then it looked like, oh shit, we got to get something done with this GA. Go now. Void jumps in, couldn't find a good chrono, then he wants to run away, gets hexed, and the fight just falls apart.
And they'll be able to take Roche very fast and still continue to push down towards the Wheel base because they have 75 seconds of no Sleesel Faceless Void. No buyback for him. You can already see Wheel in a very defensive position.
Radiant team does have a glyph. Tier 3, still up mid. But this may well be a full lane of Rax, if not two.
Ready to move forward. They have Black Hole. No Guardian Angel.
There's still a Refresher Global, though. Tough for... At this point, the only thing you're holding Global for should really be the Black Hole. There's nothing else of note that you need to cancel.
A good right-click from Relic on the Bulba, though. It's doing a lot of damage. They pop the Glyph as he pops his Crimson Guard.
Trying to take 2 lanes here. Jug bottom. Bristle mid. Bristle has the Aegis, so he can afford to die once here. Turns his back. Gets the melee. And now they're looking for Koikfa. But they just can't get the job done quickly enough. Bulba is going to take this Rax, maybe. No, they force him back. But then Jug comes back in. Just whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole Dota from Tinker.
They're just going to be losing both Rax. And they got to hope for one last big fight here as Sleesel's still got 10 seconds before he can come back.
Black almost finished off by a nice Laguna Blade. Now the Yule Scepter. Blink out. Is he going to get it? Yep.
Wow.
Right to the looker.
Slippery Bugger finds his way out and out to safety. As Sleesel comes back, he's welcome to the unfortunate side of his home being decimated.
Where's your Zeus when you need it?
Would have got possibly 2 kills there with both Bulba and your Puck, but not going to be the case. Now Wheel. Desperate times might call for desperate measures here. Do we kind of just go to the other side and hope for the best? I mean, we didn't have to use that silence, so...
Can they really initiate, though? It feels like all the fights where Wheel win are the fights where Tinker initiates... Or is like forced to fight in a really awkward position. When Tinker knows you're coming and just calmly sits back on the high ground, they get vision of you. They're much less likely to panic. They're likely to hold the global to cancel the black hole. It does feel like we'll have to get something done given that they're down 2 lanes of Rax and there's still an Aegis on Tinker. That potential death push could be coming, but it's just so much harder to win a fight when you're the one starting it. Unless the silencer just gets caught out in the middle of nowhere and gets chronoed. I don't know how they're going to take that fight. This is a very difficult moment for Wheel.
Well, they're moving down bottom. We'll have to see what they can do here. Sleesel's out in front, but he immediately time walks away from the goo. Bulba not looking to let him up.
He wants them to go on him. Use your spells on me. I've got to relocate. I've got a global at the ready. Bulba just going man mode. They may just have to turn and fight him, but he's got Aegis.
They catch Black on the back and take him down. The global comes out. It's too late to save Black.
He's still going. They have relocate.
Yeah, and I can hear it coming in now. Sleesel, though, jumps in. Bulba could be in trouble. Bash locked in place, and Relic as well. Dishes out the right click, and they take down the Bristle Giant.
Where's the team? Bulba's saying, where's the team? Help me, team! They're not coming. They're going for Megas.
They're going for Megas at the top, while Wheel are getting up in arms with a fight here. They are able to bring down the Bristle, and they immediately TP back to the base.
They get them, though. The Whisk gets thrown up in the air. They still have a chrono ready. Slizel time walks in, short on mana, now gets the Pylai die kill. Tinker, again with the team decision-making, just not working out for them. Slizel on the chase, wants to just chrono Koikfa. Needs a little more mana. He's just about got it. He's going to get it off. Boom!
Runs in. Now the right click's there with him and Relic. They should have plenty of right click to bring him down, and Koikfa gets dropped. A nice little bounty boost there for Wheel. They take down 4 all day. Oh, man, that was unfortunate. A good little catch from behind there on the Black. And
Black he just had a head full of steam. He's, okay, we're going to bait this Bristle. Wisp is going to relocate him with Jug. We're going to global, and I'm going to just set up the entire fight for the team, but got spotted, caught out, and punished. Can Wheel really push, though? They don't have chrono. It's going to be tough.
He's just like, I gotta go and do what I gotta.
There's your double buyback.
Okay, I gotta get the hell out of here. I've done what I could. Forced out buybacks.
Or maybe not. They also see Derp. walking up through the river. He will be spotted out by Dire Ward. And, well, we've seen this movie before. Bulba just going straight in.
Oh, Maldic connects and a Death Ward. There's going to be the global and a relocate back and behind.
They can get another kill here. This could well be a dieback on the Wisp. The Bristleback should be okay. Let's see if they want to bring the whole team in.
They have a black hole, and there's no more global silences here. They could take out Pili Die. They will. He's out of the game now.
He's looking a little dicey for Tinker. No Wisp. There's still the black hole, as you mentioned, and no globals.
They have mech. They need mana, though. He doesn't have the mana to use mech and black hole. He's got to save it for the one. They're going right for the jugular here.
Well, they need their juggernaut to hold the line. Got to bite back now. Do what damage you can.
Oh,
Don't tell me Wheel are somehow going to walk away with this game.
Koikfa buys back, and they're like, we got to go. They think about getting back, but I don't think they'll get away. Jump in Sheep comes out from black, and Goody's going to go down here without getting to use that black hole. Pops his mech. Could be dropped. Ghost. He goes down.
So, Enigma's buyback. They hold on to the Omni Knight ult. And they also did manage to get those racks top. That might have been earlier when the fight was happening mid with the Necro book on the Enigma, but now 2 lanes of racks to 2 lanes of racks, Dakota.
Oh my god.
This game, way harder for Tinker than it should be. They led by 30,000 gold, 25,000 experience, with double global against Enigma, who has no refresher, no BKB. Against a Void who has no BKB. Like, you should be able to stop any sort of follow-up, but it seems like a lot of these fights, Way2 has just been forced to use global to counter spells that he really shouldn't have to. Like, he's been ulting to stop the Death Ward. I think that's 2 or 3 fights now where he's had to use it. We've seen fights where he's global once, twice, and there's nothing happening else or outside of that for Tinker, and they just need that one good fight. That's really all it comes down to. Can they find it? They're looking for it mid. Might get derp. This could be an easy takedown here if he walks to the right.
Koikfa's got DD. He'll kill anyone he sees immediately. Is it worth the committed jump in Hex here from Black, though?
Didn't actually have vision, so they can't go on him.
It's scary, though. I mean, if you want to make a blind jump like that when you have a brief glimmer of where a hero might be, you don't have buybacks at this point. You go down, we'll go trucking back the other way. And next thing you know, you're in the loser's bracket. So
more answers for the global are coming out. Mike gets his Yules now. Yes. Everybody's got... It looks like at least one outside of your Enigma and your Witch Doctor. The 2 heroes who ideally need it the most. But they are starting to get solutions for the global more and more. They've had the Manta. They've had the Yules on Lina. Now they get a 3rd. And frankly, I don't know how much confidence Tinker have in their strategy anymore. Like, they have to look at this game and just feel like it should have been an automatic GG. With the map control, the lineup to split push and take racks. A lot of it really hinged on that fight top where... They didn't relocate, or sorry, the fight bottom, where they did not relocate in the Jug and the Wisp. They tried to split push instead and didn't get any objectives out of it. Now they're up against it, Dakota. They gotta summon their courage. They just need one fight.
Oh, they're jumping in, trying to catch out Wheel. It's a big global and a big coil here, and they immediately self-Yules. The second global comes out, and they get their first kill on a Relic, who's going to be forced to buy back. Mike goes down there after. Buy back Guardian Angel on the return. Sleesel gets the kill on the Black, and now it's Bulba. Laguna flies out. Black goes down. He's got to buy back. Witch Doctor drops the ward to zone back. Way2, and it's Bulba now going to be focused. Wheel looking pretty strong here. If they can slay the beast, it
not
certainly
good enough.
help.
The only hero with buyback is the Silencer. They gotta take this fight. Going on to Sleazel, they'll bring him down. He's got buyback as well. So too does the Enigma. Everybody at Wheel has the buyback, and they might have to all use them. Bulba on the chase. Relic scurrying back to safety. He does have a Hex available. Laguna Blade up in 23, heads to the north.
He's got no TP, and he has no buyback.
Spending a lot of time hunting this Lina. Even if they get the kill, that means they're not really threatening or forcing buybacks out from Wheel. I'm not sure it's worth it anymore. Black's finally going to give up the chase, but...
the ultimate space created for Relic.
They only have a Silencer buyback, and there are 3 buybacks on Wheel. I think that's a win for Wheel again.
Yeah. And Black's still up here just kind of scouting and hoping that he could have fought.
By the way, Void is 7k gold. It's time to start spending that, Slazel.
BKB.
Yeah, there's your BKB.
Radiant's middle tower is
if he had BKB that fight, that would have been really bad for Tinker, because he waited for the global, then he manted the first global, and then Way2 quickly used the second, so they couldn't get off the chrono early, but now he, in theory, has a solution for both. And this could become a concern for Tinker. A lot of that fight, they benefited from just not getting off a good chrono, and by the time they dropped it, the team was somewhat on the back foot. We'll see a defusal on the Silencer now, once they have a counter to this Hex on the Lina.
Yeah.
It seems like more than anything.
The right click
as well as the
Wheel
Omni
so
Knight ult.
Good. But the Rosh is back up. These timers have been so small to the benefit of Team Tinker. And now a convenient S4 DD rune right by it. Bulba moves in and we'll make the use out of it and could get the Aegis here. Look who's nearby. Uh-oh. Oh, we might have saw that orb.
I don't know if they can get in here in time, though. Void not in position. Sleazel's just at the well.
It's too late. The timing. The Aegis is still on the ground and left behind. Quick was going right for it while the rest of Wheel got to get the hell out of there. But no, they're not going to go. Global's there. Mike goes down. No buyback for him. Relic as well. He gets dropped. No buyback for him either. This is disaster for Wheel. Just in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time. And, well, they could go.
They're chasing the Enigma out as well. There is no Global. He could try to turn and hold, but too late. Omni Slash brings him down. That's a dieback on the Lina. They're going to use the buyback on the Enigma right away. No buyback on Omni Knight. He used his buyback earlier as well.
This is a Black Hole, Chrono, Death Ward hold.
I feel there's no way that Tinker should lose from here.
But they have no silence, no global silence. They both have been used.
That's true. But you're also lacking the Omni Knight.
If they all get caught in a Chrono or a Black Hole.
It could happen. You can't count it out. Quakefoot, though, gets off the Abyssal Blade onto Sleazel. Now they're going to try to bash him. There's your hole. Sleazel holds the line, turns around, brings down the Aegis once. Now the Chrono onto 2. Can he get the job done all by himself? They really need that Laguna Blade. They need more follow-up. Sleazel forced to time walk out. Derp on the run, and now they dive him back to the well. The chase comes out. Silencer bought back. He just got the Refresher Global off, it looks like, and with that, 4 heroes dead. Void to buy back. They're going for the throne, and finally, it seems Tinker may have salvaged this game. It was a lot more dicey than it should have been, but win is a win, and this looks like it probably will be one. So Sleazel going blow for blow here with Bulba.
He's got to go out like a man, though. That's what you got to do. He takes it right to Bulba. Bulba's able to shrug it off and walk away.
He's trying to roleplay Bristle boss.
Yeah,
this is not your Bristle employee. This is not your Bristle sidekick. He's the man.
They're holding it out, man. They're Guardian Angeled up now. They want to make them work for it if they can. Glyph had already been used. And now they try to slash it on in. They move on forward.
Kill Bulba. God damn it.
It's the last of a Royal
Somebody
Rumble
get that
here.
Armadillo. They get the jug. They're holding the line. Come on, Tinker. Does that end the game already? They can't do it. Finally, back to the throne. Working on it is Bulba, and the Bristleback will finally secure the game.
Man.
Ouch.
The bitter end there for game number 3 of this long-winded 3-game series between Wheel and Tinker. That's not an 80-20 series, if I do tell you. So Tinker managed to fight their way through the winner's bracket past Wheel, but Wheel are not done yet. Props to them. They put on a really good showing against Team Tinker. They took game number 2. They looked really good in game number 1. In fact, they could have had game number 1, but they'll have a chance to kind of fight it out here as they'll wait to see who their opponent could be. The loser of our next series and our next matchup, which will be Complexity taking on the Void Boys. So that's going to be coming up next, but man, what a hell of a showing from both these two.
Jeez. That game had it all. Or this series, I should say. The big comeback in game 1, the stomp that almost got turned around in game 3. Game 2 was a very one-sided game for Wheel, and Wheel, even though they almost... It looked like they were close to mounting a comeback this game. It really should not have been close if Tinker played right. There was a lot of times where they whiffed on the relocates for Pylai Die. The double global used during, before the Black Hole had even been used when they tried to siege the base earlier. They just got to work on their teamwork. They're still a relatively new team. I don't think like some of these players have played much together before this team. You know, Pylai Die Black, Bulba. I mean, a few of them have some history. Bulba and Way2 being the main ones there, but. It does seem like communication still something that needs to be worked on. Tinker showing a lot of promise as individuals, but as a 5-man unit, Wheel do feel like much more of a team, at least so far.
So that will wrap things up for our first best-of-3 series here. Team Tinker are going to be the team that moves on, and we're going to find out what team is going to be duking it out with them next as our next series. As I said, Void Boys taking on Complexity will be coming up here in just a moment. I imagine with that long series that we probably have to jump right into that lobby. So, folks, sit tight. We got more Dota on the way. I'm KotLGuy. That's LD. We're Beyond the Summit bringing you the English coverage. Be right back.
G2A.com, the best video game store ever! Fast as lightning, solid as a rock, cheap as duck! What's more, you can sell on it because it's also a marketplace. Remember G2A.com, the best video game store ever!